What has Calgary weather to do with flooring? That's a great question. I had my tools set up outside because I live in this house right now, and I did not want to haul the tools inside because that would create a lot of extra mess inside. So I had my tools all set up outside, and then it rained. And I'm like, well, I don't want my tools to get ruined, and I don't want to be tracking mud through the house, coming in and out. So I had to pack the tools up. That's what Calgary weather has to do with flooring. I trust that explainer time meets with your approval. All right, so my thought is build out this way, just one solid block of full length stuff. So I can use this to position the nosing that has to go there. So that'll go to just about there. And the hope is I can use these in position, because you can see how this might not be exactly square. And that could be like quite out of square here. So we'll keep lining up another 3 or 4 of these right in line here, and that'll give us an idea of how much out of square this is along here. And I'm pretty sure that is not due to this section of the floor being wonky, but with the stairs already being installed on a tilt. So this back wall, if it's crooked floor, we're at 49 minus, and here we're at 49 minus. So to this back wall, we're exactly the same. That means the out of square bit is the framing of the stairs. So you can see here we've got some space. We're right pushed up against this. We get down over here, we have space here now, and we're right pushed up against that. And that could give me some real grief when it comes to this portion. Let's see how square this corner is. That's kind of like the only idea I have to approach this problem. Okay, so this might be not as much of a problem. My concern is when I get to here, if I cut this at an exact 45, we might be a little bit off of that as well. I have to cut this piece around this here. Then I have to get like a really precise measurement from here to here and give myself a miter there. Hey, you know what? People should make table saws so that the stop button is on the right-hand side, or that there is a stop button on both sides. Wouldn't that be great? So whichever way you prefer to cut or happen to be cutting, you're good.
I'm profiling the back of the underside of the nosing to match the skew in the stairs. That way it doesn't stick out as far and reduces it being a trip hazard. A 1/4 inch difference in stairs can definitely cause trips.
And we're raining. So if we run this straight sideways, this width is pretty good. This depth is not, however. So we'll only come in that deep the first time. Once we've got this little indent here cut so that it fits really well there, then we can measure from here to here, come back a 1/16 and figure out where we want to get that miter. So then we would go here and we'd say leave a 1/16 of an inch more that way. And then we cut that at as good a 45 as we can make.
I'm checking my 45 by using a couple of pieces of scrap trim and making sure they come to 90 degrees. I need this to be as accurate as possible because I need to make sure that the other end of the 90-degree corner is exactly parallel to the rest of the floor that I've already installed.
I don't think we're gonna get really much better than that. That's gonna have to do. Okay. That's gonna be pretty close. I need to cut that straight back just on the underside there. I think that got me the 1/16 of an inch I wanted. So that's gonna have to go in that way. Okay, that is super duper unsquare because that's not square. This is too many things to get perfect. Well, we can trust that these angles are right, and that means that if we continue this line along, then we got a mark here. Well, let's see how bad it is. That's not terrible, and we're lined up pretty well to the front of that. I have to bring that out quite a ways before that's square. Let's push these boards back a bit. enough that I can get the nosing flat down. So for that to be square, I have to bring this out by like a full finger thickness here and unsquare it to that. Well, let's see if these are actually 45 or if they crept on me. So we'll line these guys up, get this one on here, and slide it in. Okay, that does look like it's off, which is frustrating.
I cut most of the rest of this video in editing because it was basically 3 to 4 hours of cut, test, sand, test, cut, sand, repeat, etc. There was no aha moment where I was able to figure any useful insight that would actually help me resolve the problems that I was having. The only thing that came close was remembering that I should be beveling out the joints to make them look like the factory bevels everywhere else in the floor.
See, now, it's still not perfect, but it's a little bit more hidden about its not perfectness.
I wanted to see how many rows I'd need to put down before it became too many and I wouldn't be able to adjust the nosing anymore.
Then by the time we get to here, we can still fuss this so that this line is nice and tight, and we have much we can do about that gap. Yeah, that's a little bit what I'm concerned about there. Get some tape on that and we'll be pretty good with that front step. That is quite nice. So that is all we were hoping to get done today. I have the pieces cut for this side here, and we can actually get that to be pretty decent. And then as well here.
So here's how it looks all finished up. I'm okay with it. I don't love it. I'm just willing to accept that due to the limitations of the tools that I had and the existing framing, I wasn't going to get any better. And from this view, it really is okay. Here's the first close-up, and you can see there's a tiny bit of wood filler applied right in the corner. The joints themselves are pretty clean. With the second close-up, this also is alright. I really should get around to scraping that bit of overspray paint off though. The third close-up shows, hands down, by far, the worst piece of finished carpentry in the whole house. This separation makes me sad. It's also something I couldn't resolve without better tools. That little miter saw just wasn't capable of the level of precision I needed to fix this. To me, this is hideous, and I would not accept it from someone else if I was hiring them. Want to hear something funny though? The gap at the bottom is only 1 millimeter. That's slightly over 1/32 of an inch. So if you've seen one of my previous videos about debunking bad construction hacks and thought I was crazy for claiming that a 1/16 of an inch was unacceptable, hopefully this helps you understand why.